Okay, so we'll have a discussion about the character from Obliterated, a brand new show from Netflix. So some of the content will already be out there before the show releases. So I'll obviously be mindful of what would be potentially spoiler that will go on social media, and then the full interview, spoilers included, will be released after November 30th.
Hmm.
And so the focus will be of the main eight characters at this point, and we're only going to go off of the internet descriptions of what we know. Just kind
Great.
of keep some of that stuff vague. So, Frank, if we can start with Ava Winters, I have up in front of me that. Let's see, her character is a CIA agent. In the trailers, we see her in at least a couple different outfits, but I just want to kind of focus the one that she is seen in mostly is just like the black dress, I guess. I don't know if you can probably elaborate too much since I know like when she first put that black dress on.
Right. Well, this is like all of our characters we see in the opening when they are hunting down the bomb, right? So they're in their work clothes. We see a bit of Ava that in the trailer where she's wearing the cream shirt with the body armor and her hair is back, and the guys are all in their camouflage because they're special ops. And they're all in their work clothes. Kimmy's in her MIT sweatshirt and or Kimmy, I should say Maya.
Maya.
Yeah, Maya's in her MIT shirt. So it's basically just reflecting what they would wear at work, right? So, but as we find out, they disarm the bomb, and then they're throwing a party. There's like no one can know about this thing that happened because it's top secret. So they're gonna we're gonna go hog wild and go out. So they get to put on their finest, right? Or the conceit too is like it's either what they brought with them or what they went out and bought. In the case of Trunk, that shirt that there was a different there was this shirt that I made for him, which is like so silly. The whole thing is so silly. I just love it. But it's
Uh,
it's
I,
interesting with go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
No, I mean, getting off track, but like back to Ava Winter. So it's like basically that black dress is the little black dress that she either brought with her or she went out and bought it, at a store at Caesar's Palace or wherever they might be in Vegas. And then I think what may not be as clear, but like our show is a bit like 24, right? So like it's 8 1-hour episodes that reflect 8 hours in our script day, right? So it's like the clothes that we see them in at the party in the trailer is what they're in for the rest of the show. That is like the entire time they're wearing that for the most part. There's some switches around because of shenanigans. But it is like Ava's little black dress is the perfect little black dress that reflected who she. It's sexy. It's beautiful. But it's also like the kind of dress that she would wear, right? That character would wear as a CIA agent.
I don't know all of the branches, but are the military uniforms, are those all authentic to their specific branches?
No, I mean
Okay.
there is. Is it in the trailer? There is a scene in which we see them before they're made part of this team. There's a big hangar scene where we see each of them either whether they're all in fatigues and they're either Army or Marines or Navy SEALs or what have you, and those are authentic. Those are
Okay.
all are completely perfect, like to what they would be wearing in a briefing like this. When we're in the black camo that we have, that digital camo, I forgot the name of the camouflage, but it's a very specific camouflage. But it is not branded. It is not. It is
Mhm.
not. It is not part of any particular military arm. It's completely covert, completely underground. And even when we go to Area 51, which is like a secret black ops site, government black ops sites, we have authentic U.S. military camouflage uniforms, but there's no insignia. Nobody has name stripes. There's no ranking. We don't show any of that because I wanted it to be like this again, like a black site. So it's not
Mm.
run by any one agency. It's a whole multi thing. And I didn't want to, I don't want to say like, oh, here's the Navy is running this black ops site in the desert, blah, blah, blah. It's like, let's have it be appropriate military camouflage, but let's not give it an identity to in a particular branch.
So, and correct me if I'm hearing this correctly. In that particular site, and a lot of that is in episode 2, I believe. There's
Mm,
two or three, but the side you're speaking of, because there is
yeah.
a soldier, I believe it is the medic. I had wondered why are his name tags and stuff like that. So you're saying because it's like this covert ops, yeah, there's different branches, but we're all like we're not identifying you as one thing or the other. You're an individual part of this mission, this covert ops.
Correct.
Is that why the name tags
In
were gone?
Yeah, in my mind, it's sort of like that is the official uniform of this unnamed branch, covert branch of the military or of the CIA or what have you. So it feels like it is like you get assigned to this black ops site and you're given this uniform and that is your uniform for the black ops site, but the same as if it were another branch.
Yeah, because in my experience seeing soldiers like that, there's an expression, or we called it like going in sanitized. You know, like you we're
Mm-hmm.
taking off any identifiers. So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that was your thing or Kevin Kent's, instructions or something. So, because I'm going to be speaking with him at some point as
Oh,
well,
good.
and so
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I definitely have some questions for him. But
Yeah,
I
and
dig.
it was, I
And
mean, that was a very specific to having the dark, the black camouflage when in episode one was because we don't want it to reflect any specific military thing. Worn properly, like they're all professional military people, so it's like they would have professional soldiers, so they would wear them in the appropriate way. And Kevin was great. He was a really huge resource to have. Just go like, hey, okay, here's what I want to do. Can it be this way or can it be that way? Like even just like again, it's like I put a lot of attention into like nurses and doctors and any sort of professional that like will watch this and be taken out of it if there's something wrong. Like I know like my brother's a nurse, and so it's like I know that the stethoscope is worn like this, not clamped around your neck, right? And
yeah, yeah.
it's just so important to have that correct. So and to have an official, to have Kevin around to help us out with advice on how could they do that? Would they do that? Is that appropriate? It was fantastic. And he's a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
there's nothing that stuck out to me, but there was a few decisions. I was like, oh, that would be a good question to kind of ask you or a
Yeah.
Kevin or a John Joshua
Yeah.
Hayden kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that the black digital. That's something that I would just rock for fun. Um,
Yeah.
and I got out before the design of the Army Digital now. Mine was
Mm-hmm.
still very much just like the very specific brown and green. Now they've kind of gone back to almost the original colors back in the early
Mm-hmm.
aughts. But yeah, the,
Yeah.
the patterns, yeah, much more different.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Let's talk about Chad McKnight.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen in a couple, mainly in that red,
Red
shirt.
and
I was
orange,
gonna
like
say Hawaiian.
Hawaiian tropical shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so kind of that shirt, and then he had something over that, right? Before we actually see that. I need to pull the pictures back up here. But McKnight.
Yeah. 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 So this is a situation where, um, on a new show, we had the pilot plus the series. So we were greenlit from the beginning. We knew we were making the whole thing, and
Yeah.
we knew that these outfits had to live through the whole deal. But there's a lot of scrutiny. There's a lot more scrutiny, like on episode one of a new show than there is on episode five of season six of a show. So you have to jump through. I have to jump through a lot of hoops. I have to make sure that everything can suit the action, can suit the character, and everybody like that. I like John Josh and Hayden like the actor likes, and Netflix likes, and Sony likes, and there's a lot of people who have opinions about things. So I
Right.
went through dozens of Hawaiian shirts for McKnight, and we settled on this one. And I think it's a great choice. I think it's appropriate for his character. It's appropriate for the action, and it looks great. The problem is, and I mentioned this before on the Cobra Kai podcast, is that like pattern shirts are not always identical, right? But if it's supposed to be the same shirts, that palm tree's got to be here every time. That little color of purple has to be here every time. This little sun has to be here every time. It can't be moving around, right? Because you've got a stunt player, you've got multiples, it's got to be aged, it's got to go through a lot of wear and tear. That is a shirt where I think I bought all the shirts that existed in the country. Like, I think we had literally 20 or 30 of them. And I had my poor tailor, Sarah, was like an incredible, incredible impatient tailor for me. We had to disassemble so many shirts to make sure that the sleeve matched exactly on every single one. That the sunrise was here, the palm trees were here. Like, when we had to we had to Frankenstein so many shirts together to get like I think we had ended up having like at least a dozen, 12 or 14 of them. That were in different states of disrepair as we go over the action of the season. And that was that was a big challenge. It was a really big challenge for us, but also a fun challenge. You know, it's fun to find the right thing that reflects the right character, and it's worth the work when you find the right thing. You know, it's absolutely worth it to make that happen when it's the right shirt.
So that red and orange shirt actually kind of is similar to that track jacket that he wears as well, kind of like the black and the red. Was that supposed to
Mm-hmm.
kind of just match, or was that just his colors?
No, there's a reason that that track jacket comes from a very specific place. And I don't I mean that is it's not part of his wardrobe. It's part of something that he ends up putting on out of necessity.
I
Um,
need to go back. Okay.
well, I mean I think that comes in episode, I want to say 4 or 5. I can't remember which one
Okay.
where it
Yeah.
comes in.
I'm just going through the images on the Netflix
Hmm.
site, and so
Yeah, yeah,
these were images that were released by I believe Deadline, at least with the article with Deadline, or
sure.
yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
How?
and they pulled images from essentially the entire series.
Right.
There's a very specific reason why he has that Adidas jacket on. That it has nothing to do with his color palette.
Kind of forget, but yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So Trunk is seen. We seen some images like him in the digital, but obviously mainly the sleeveless yellow hoodie. Can you
Mm-hmm.
share like the literature on his hoodie?
Well, it's funny because John, Josh, and Hayden in the original script there was a different. It was scripted that he was wearing a novelty shirt that said something 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 something, and it didn't quite flow. It was like I was like, okay, that's a little wordy for a shirt, and so I mocked up like 4 or 5 different versions of that thing, and because it's just written down in words. It's like Trump comes in wearing a shirt that a novelty T-shirt that says like what happens in Vegas stays, or this is what's happening in Vegas right now, or something. It was like something like that. So I took the liberty of like taking the words, the inspiration that was written down in pages, and making some visual references for them. So it's like here's the things, and here's the colors, and here's originally I'd made the hoodie red in my mock-ups, but then as the color palettes for all the other characters developed, it's sort of like it was too close to McKnight's color world. So like making it yellow, looked really great on Terrence, and it's like that was just like it became that thing. And I wanted to have some more body than just a t-shirt, because also you see McKnight in a tank top a lot.
Mm,
And I wanted to have it. I wanted to have another silhouettes, and Terrence's arms are so well. He's a built guy, right? And he's so big. And it's
huge.
like
Yeah.
I really wanted to like amplify and accentuate his bigness. So like if I show off his arms the entire time, that just shows, and it makes him, by bringing in the cut off a little bit, it makes his shoulders even look even wider. So like, I could do a little bit of visual trickery to make him look even bigger than he is, and serve the whole thing. And then it also it just bounced off the graphic really well too.
What about the suspenders? I'm only just now noticing that. He has,
Suspenders.
yeah, he has suspenders.
Oh, that's right. He has
Yeah,
suspenders. Yeah, I
he's
mean,
wearing them down. Yeah.
they're part of the pants. They're sort of like again, like I wanted to develop character, like, and also since they're only one outfit for the entire series, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to like really grow. I had to like just here's what the character is. So I wanted Trunk to be cool. I wanted him to be like,
Yeah.
okay, he's got some flair. He's wearing cargo pants. They're not suspenders that they're well, they are suspenders that they're attached to the pants. So they're like
Right.
they're part of the thing. So it's almost like they're like not bondage pants, but like that 80s throwback to that kind of vibe.
Right.
That's why I
Right.
was confused by suspenders, because they're not, they're straps that are attached to the pants. But it's just a bit of flair, and like he's wearing really cool yellow and black Jordans, and it's a way to just like really nail some character in there. which I tried to do with each of them. So like, so when
Yeah.
you look at them, you go like, oh, I know who that is. You know, I know he's wearing some cool cargo bondage pants and a novelty hoodie because he's that guy.
Now, Maya, we see her, at least with the images that were released and in the trailer, the two, if you want to call it like main looks, I guess there's one with her wearing something that's kind of like a salmon colored bottom, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if that's the same one as the green or the mint green top
It's a mint
as
green little
well.
like ruffle shoulder
Yeah,
top.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, yeah,
She's wearing the white top
yeah,
with the salmon
yeah.
bottoms, and then yeah, the other
Exactly.
look with the green.
Yeah, yeah. That's that's hi guys. That's I mean, again, that is the look that she would have had with her, or that she would have went out and bought. I mean, she's like a nerdy tech, she's tech chick, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she doesn't have a lot of like flair, and so in my mind, she went out to the store, like maybe she went out to Old Navy or she went out to Target, some like in the hours they had between rapids, finding the bomb, and I think they say in the script it's or in the thing it's like 11 p.m. is the time for the party. So she went out and she got her thing to try to impress McKnight's, right? She went out and got the outfit, but also reflects her sort of like not quite getting the full memo, right? She's like sort of this ruffly top and it's a pastel color, but there's these pink shawl wear shorts. Ooh, that's sassy, you know, because we see her, she seems to me, she was like a, you know, a hoodie and jeans kind of girl was what she was wearing when she was in the ops van or in the surveillance van. So it's like that. It's just I wanted to show that she was this sort of girly, you know, trying to be girly, trying to be sexy, but not quite getting the whole memo. Like she didn't really get the whole vision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what about Angela Gomez, the Marine sniper? More of
Angela
the
Gomez.
standard, yeah, the
Yeah,
sporty look.
yeah. I mean, she's just a badass. She's a badass. She's super cool. She's like not phased by anything. In the trailer, we see her like waggling a giant dildo, which is a total plot point. I
Yes,
mean, I have to tell you, I've never had so many dicks in a show in my life. It's like it's just really wild. It's like it's so like I mean,
there's a lot. There's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot. All super fun, all super really great and absurd, but like just silly. But she's also the person who isn't phased by that, right? She's like she's the guy's guy. She's like she's not going to get embarrassed or flustered or whatever. She's going to like, okay, great. Well, this is the thing now. And so I wanted her costume to reflect that too. We put her in a because her character is lesbian, and so we wanted to like not it wasn't playing up sexuality, but she's still sexy and cool. And she's like, I didn't want to fall into like any tropes either. Sort of like, oh, she's the butch dyke, or she's like, you know, she's like. I wanted it to be like this is just as this person. She's a sniper. She's in the Marines. She's a badass, and she's one of the boys. But she's also like, you know, she's wearing this cute tank top underneath like this the satin jacket, and she's wearing really cool pants, and she's wearing Doc Martens, and it's like so it's like hitting all those things, but like making her trendy and also fashionable and like cool.
Yeah, I feel she's an easy cosplay, right? Like if you wanted to kind of dress up as somebody from Obliterated, the Trunks hoodie is like very specific. Like, okay, well, yeah, Trunk,
Yeah,
but I think there's a sexiness, badass look to Gomez that's fun too. That you can wear.
I have to tell you, it was not a small thought in my head of imagining a group costume of all eight friends dressing up like all these characters. Like, and it's that is something in the back of my head. I did a movie years and years ago called Debs.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah.
like these, yeah, yeah, and it was like it was so gratifying. It was so gratifying to like the Halloween after that came out of seeing like groups of girls wearing like plaid skirts and carrying around fake guns and being these things. And so it's like I know that this is something like that I like to do too. I love it. I love a group costume, and I love seeing the costumes that me and my colleagues have done, have designed out there. I was like my friend Tracy GG Field designed League of Their Own, and
Mhm.
I saw at least five of those costumes out on people over this last weekend. We're right after Halloween right now, and it's just really satisfying. So I thought about a lot about like, okay, all these characters have to be iconic, but also in having them together is just will be so. I can't wait. I can't wait to see someone do a group costume of all that.
Yeah, they're very specific looks, and the fact that you mentioned like the style of 24, they're in this the entire season. So with
Yeah.
subsequent seasons, you're like, well, that's Trunk from season one.
Yeah,
Stuff
exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
very identifiable. I'm in this picture with the with Trunk and Gomez now with Paul Young.
Mm.
Let me I don't want to get his description wrong. We have it as Air Force pilot, and that's not something that you really get from the trailer. But since we did a kind of a breakdown and analysis, there's a sequence where you actually see Paul in a helicopter with a flare gun. So like
Hmm.
we knew that he at the very least knew how to fly one. So, but
Yeah.
it is out there that he is an Air Force pilot. So we got like a vest with the plaid shirt there. This very casual look for Paul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Paul Young is like the best of the best like Air Force pilot. He's the helicopter pilot. He is the one like flying the Vulture at all times. He's the one that gets them from place to place because the Vulture is the key part of like that's what we see. The Vulture is the name of the helicopter that shoots out the windows, right? In the suite in the trailer, and he is just a buttoned up regular suburban dad. He is like, he's got the plaid shirt, he's got the little vest over it. He shops at Land's End, he shops at JC Penney's. He is just like that average guy. He's not flashy, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. He's like a very straightforward military dude that is just like, he's a family man. And that's his guiding thing. So it was really fun to do variations on that theme and land on the one that just really nailed it the most, right? And God, there's some really silly stuff that happens. That are just it's just really also it's creating that character so that when you look at him, you go like, oh yes, I've seen that guy. I've seen that guy on at the golf course, or he's at the mall, or he's with a podiatrist. It's like or he's at the PTA meeting. That's Paul.
In our trailer breakdown, I kind of joked that he reminded me of Al from Home Improvement. But it's
Yeah,
mainly plaid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when you were coming up with the look for Paul, did you always kind of envision like the vest as part of his look?
Yeah, I did. I mean, because I also wanted one of the tricks. Because also, when I start a show, even though I know that they're going to be in, or when I started this show, even though I know that they're going to be in the costume for the entire thing, I don't know everything that's going to happen. I had a breakdown for most of the episodes, but not everything. And I didn't know the nuances of the details that would happen, and also things change along the way. They get some great idea. So I want to make sure that I had layers I could lose. Like, so it's like if something had to happen to that vest and he needed to lose it, then I could lose that layer. I could have also there's a bit of a character thing too where he's buttoned up but he's like protected, right? So he's got another layer of thing of another layer of a garment on him that can just be a bit of like protection. Unlike McKnight, who's like, shirts open, shirts off, trunk showing his arms. Ava's in a skimpy dress. Like it's just like it's somewhere I wanted him to just feel like armored up, and also like he didn't bother to get dressed up. He's not putting on some party clothes. He's like, he's just a family man.
Right, right. And I'm gonna skip a certain character real quick and just kind of throw somebody in where we do see an image of DJ Candycorn. Just kind of like what you remember when whether you were told about this character, read that this character is included, just all the insights about this one. I kind of low key like this character.
I love this character. I have to tell you, sometimes I feel that John, Josh, and Hayden are just giving me treats. I think sometimes they just go like, let's give something Frankie can really sink his teeth into. Giving me like this superstar famous DJ. I mean, I think that the seed or the germ of the character was DJ Marshmallow, right? So it's like,
Yes,
DJ
100%.
Candycorn, it's just scripted. DJ Candycorn comes in, and I'm like, yes. So I like do my drawings and I get these things and I figure out how am I going to make the head? Is it going to be a cone? Is it going to be like the dimensional thing? Like, and then this is where I get to really have fun as a designer, because then I can go, okay, I want his eyes to light up because I know he's going to be in a dark DJ booth. I know he needs to be in bright colors. And I know it's going to be like electronic dance music. So it's like I can pull from all these cultures out there, right? I can pull from I can look at what DJ Marshmallow has, but then make it my own thing. And like, to put the L wire, the light up electronic wire in the eyes to make sure the eyes lit up and the mouth lit up, and like things dangling off of his jacket, and like just doing all that was so freaking fun. And it's so free. I mean, I was so shocked to see it in, I forgot that was in that there was that moment in the
The
in
club.
episode one, which is in the trailer, when we see him, like, they
Oh,
they they,
y-
they think in the
yeah.
trailer, they think that the fans are running towards them, but they're running towards DJ Candycorn. We didn't shoot that till the very end of the season, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, because we shot all the Vegas footage at the very end, at the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks of shooting. And so we didn't shoot any DJ Candycorn until then. And I was like, oh, right. That was like in the first episode. It was like, we get to see that, which is very satisfying. It's very
Yeah.
satisfying.
Well, was he always meant to be? Because I think you said you worked on a couple of different looks. Was he always meant to be mostly orange? Did you even consider like maybe some like a lot of yellow for his wardrobe?
I played with a lot of different things. I just really wanted I thought that the orange would pop the most. And I feel like
Yeah.
the dominant color of that. And I just didn't, I felt that would be the most iconic thing that would just really pop out for us.
It actually kind of makes sense now that I think about it because Trunk is in yellow as well. So it's
Right.
just,
Exactly.
yeah, one of those things
Exactly.
that everybody kind of has their own color.
The other
Okay,
option
so
was to do, well, the other option for me too was like white, because those are the traditional three colors of candy corn. But then I didn't want to get too close to like, oh, DJ Marshmallow. It's like I wanted it to be his own candy DJ land.
and, this is related but off topic topic I guess. But are you familiar with Sick Kick?
No,
Yeah,
sick.
he's just another guy with a mask. I will send you something. He does these
Okay.
incredible mashups. I love watching his Instagram videos where he's just in his room dancing and he has a microphone and he's really I love him. But I'll send you
Oh,
something of
please do. Yeah, that's
DJ
great.
Sickkick. Yeah, I love him. Okay, so the last person I wanted to save was the character of Lana. So
Mm,
on the interwebs they just call her a civilian party girl. So that's not something I knew until when I kind of started my coverage, like even early on, her
mm.
that description was a blind spot for me. I just assumed she was part of that team, but she is one of the main characters. So yeah, can you talk about that dress that she wears? And that's pretty much it, right? That we see in the trailers and stuff is just like the one dress.
Yeah, we just see the one dress, and that kind of is what she is in for the entire time. And she is like, she's in the party dress. She's in that trashy, these girls. And, we had a lot of fun creating background characters. So we had so many like roving groups of bridesmaids, like at
Yeah.
bachelorette parties and thing. We had like, I dressed a lot of extras as all the Las Vegas tropes, right? So all the things you see these people running through. You have like the Midwesterners, you have like there's a lot of fun little things that I get to throw in. And Lana is one of those. Lana is like she's wearing that skimpy, cheap, sassy dress. It's too short. Like, it's, you think one of her boobs is going to fly out at any given time. And that's really what I wanted to nail with her, because it's like that's who that character is presented as.
I said she was the last character, but then there was one that I completely missed, Haggerty.
You can't
So
forget Tommy. You cannot forget
you
Tommy.
cannot. Yeah. So he's got a few different looks. Again, I'll chop out what I think is a spoiler for before the embargo. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we see him in a few different things, and I don't think you see it very much in the trailer. However, like there is a still image of him in a raft with like this Vegas style like bottoms, these pants,
Oh gosh,
with
they
like
have that. Yeah.
the blazer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, Tommy's character, like, I have as like, he is like this, like, almost like, even though he's a career military man, and he's a a bomb guy, he's like, bomb guys are crazy. They are legit, like, a very specific type that takes that job on. And I wanted to reflect that in his outfit, like, that he wears at the party. It's like, he's got this kind of linen jacket on and a vest. He's got like a bandana tied around his neck. He's got some silver jewelry on, and like on his mangled hand, and it is it's a very specific look for this person who is doing all the drugs known to man. um and it's a very light colored suit. It's tan. We see him in the full suit the entire time, or for the entire time. And there's a very, very specific reason why he needs to have new pants on.
Yes.
And the cast members take it upon themselves to find the closest pants they can to get him to not walk around pants.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
great one. And
yeah.
then this one for the podcast listeners, if you have not yet finished the series, this isn't spoiler, but this is like Easter egg cameo. So if you don't want to, if you're not done with the show, I would suggest either pausing or fast forwarding a couple minutes. I'm going to ask Frank about a couple cameos slash Easter eggs. So this is your chance to pause the episode or skip a couple minutes. Okay, Frank. So in episode 6, Haggerty's getting married. There's a couple familiar faces. Okay.
Mhm.
What can you tell me about what Courtney Hengler is wearing and also writer Joe Piroli?
It was so fun. It is so fun to like when I get to do that. And like it just made them like classic drunk. Like they met that night. They're at the Vegas chapel. They're getting married. They're just like and they're the mismatch because like Joe is not very tall and Courtney is very tall. And it was it's super fun when they're game to do that. And like, Joe's a writer. He's not an actor. He's game to have a good time, but he was also so uncomfortable. It was really funny to like just really play it up. And of course I let him keep the outfit for future use.
I'm assuming it's hair and makeup, but like because his hair is slicked back, and I don't know if he grew out his beard, but I just saw him in person 2 Aprils ago, and so I just
Mm-hmm.
assumed that was just always Joe's look. So the slick hair at least threw me off, So like I
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
like really pause and like, is that really Joe? Because
I
I was
mean,
looking at Courtney.
I think that he also wanted to like have as much of a disguise as possible. So it's like you like he didn't want to come out looking as like the scruffy writer. He wanted to, like have a little bit of a different look. And we wanted to do that too.
Right, right, yeah. Well, yeah, it was accomplished, and then couldn't even guess that it was him. You could have given me, I don't know, an hour. I'm like, I mean, I guess maybe Joe. Like that, I would just guess that it was Joe.
Yeah,
I would be confident about my
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
But Frankie, any character you want to touch on in this, like, spoiler if people haven't finished the season yet, kind of thing.
I mean, there's a
Red
couple other really
dress,
fun.
Lana, or a red. What is she wearing that's red later on in the season? Gonna. I don't have the
Oh
picture.
well, there's a very good reason to see Lana in full motorcycle leathers towards the very end of the thing. And I don't want to there's so many great like twists and turns of the storyline and there's so again this is another reason why I love working with these guys because the way that they write is like they lead you up to thinking it's going to be a certain way and then they go boom like that, right? So they don't always just they lead us down this path thinking that we're going to have like another cliche. It's like, oh, I guess that's going to be that thing, that character this time, and or that's going to be why this is happening, and it ends up not being that, which makes it very satisfying for me. Just because also like I don't want to do the same old tropes over and over again. It's fun. The tropes are there for a reason. These are character types or archetypes, but they don't. These guys never just give us the most generic version of that. We get to have some fun with it or something unexpected. And I really like that. I really appreciate that. That was also one thing too. I have to do a shout out. Like they're also really fun when you talk about cameos. So in this big Vegas party, we have like all kinds of crazy things, and there's this scripted thing. There's a pack of Cirque du Soleil performers, right? So like there's we have a little person. We have like
Oh,
we're
right,
supposed
right.
to be super tall people, and you see them, and there's what was really fun for me is I asked them like, hey, my brother-in-law Christian Coda is like he's 6'6" and like really skinny, long hair. He's a model, and he's like he's really fun and really game. And I said like if I put him up in my house, because we shot in Albuquerque, right? So like if he comes down, can I make him an extra and I'll make him one of the Cirque du Soleil guys? Because then we'll have like, we had a little person and then we'll have like him who's 6'6" as like matching, like they were in the matching outfits, like as that was their performance. And so that's like, this is also a place where they let us have some fun too, where we can like bring in our friends or bring in our family or people who want to like, heighten all this stuff, like putting Joe and Courtney in there too.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely forgot about that sequence. Yeah, it's in the first episode.
Yeah.
Just at that party, a lot of different characters, and it's just fun to kind of look at the different people because, like, I remember watching the first time, like, where did McKnight get all these people? Like he
Right.
delivered. He said that he was going to throw
Yeah.
this party, and wow, he didn't disappoint. I think that's pretty much it. I had considered talking about like the bad guys, but I'm just, in
Mm.
general, and I'm just thinking, well, a lot of these guys probably just kind of want to fit in the crowds of Vegas, so I don't know if any of them had like a very specific look.
Well, they did. I mean, because obviously the bad guys are Russians, so like I definitely played up that Eastern European aesthetic, right? So that Russian,
Yeah.
there's very specific Russian things, and even working like one of our bad guys, Ivan Koslov, who's played by I want to make sure I say the name right. Oh yeah, Kostaronin. The Ivan is the bad guy that we see in I think we see him in the trailer. Played by
Yes.
Kostaronin, who's awesome, who is Russian, and it's like I worked with him like the things that I wanted to do, like, okay, here, I'm an American. I've done my research. It's like I want to have this kind of chain on him, and I want to have a cross on or whatever. And it's so great to rely or to have the help of like people who know what's going on to say like, I brought a selection of chains, and he said like, well, actually, um, a Russian would never wear this chain because that link is all wrong, but he'd wear this chain with this particular link. So that's to be
Mm,
the thing. If we make it bigger, it's like again, it's a nuance where I don't want to like if the guys are not writing me cliches, I don't want to make my own cliche choices either from a costume standpoint. Just slap on some sort of bling necklace that wouldn't be
right.
appropriate to the region. So like each of all of my Russian guys are again reflecting like that they're from there, that it reflects like that particular style that they would have, and that's again super fun for me to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just again, your attention to detail and getting the actors' input as well to make their character more real. So
Yeah,
yeah, we really love that. Frank, as always, a pleasure to speak with you. Um I
likewise.
you yeah, you do share stuff on your social media if you're willing to put that out there if you want if you're okay with sharing that to have people follow you to kind of see some of your work, where can they find you at?
Well, I am Franz Vaughn on Instagram, or if you just search my name, Frank Helmer. And I do like once the show comes out, I'm then given the liberty to share things. Like same thing with Cobra Kai. It's like it's my personal account and my work account. So I share things from all of my life, and because I think that's also inspiration for everything. And but once I'm given the okay by when we're out in the world, then I can start to share the behind the scenes stuff, which is going to be really fun. There's some choice stuff from Obliterated when it comes out.
There you go. You keep it. Well, follow me on social media because obviously I will share anything that Frank shares after November 30th. Correct? Is that what
Yep. November
you're
30th
understanding?
is when we're out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's after November 30th, Frank will be a great follow to see the behind the scenes stuff if that's something you like. For Instagram, if you guys want to follow me, I'm at Cobra Kai Companion and Obliterated Companion. But if you follow Companion Network on Instagram, I have the links for all the shows that I cover. So that's gonna do it. Thank you, Frank, for joining me. And for those that are just finding this podcast, hopefully you guys subscribe and stay tuned for our upcoming episode reviews and whoever I can get a hold of from the show. So thank you
Great.
guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.